Good day, everyone. We are happy to have you here as we rediscover the works of the well-renowned Filipino painters
who have contributed so much to the Philippine history, namely Juan Luna and Fernando Amorsolo. But before that, let me and my co-presenter introduce ourselves first. I am Doreen Kate S. Castro, first year college from BSED Science.
I am Earl John De La Rosa, first year college from BSED Science, and we are from the Pangasinan State University, Urdaneta City campus. We are going to talk about the content and contextual analysis of works of Juan Luna and Fernando Amorsolo in Philippine history. But before that, let us hear first the learning outcomes of today's topic from Miss Doreen Kate Castro.
So what are the learning outcomes? During the learning sessions, you will be able to first, identify the symbolism used in the works of Juan Luna and Amorsolo. Second, explain the importance of the works of Luna and Amorsolo to the grand narrative of the Philippine history. And lastly, evaluate the contribution and relevance of the works of Luna and Amorsolo to the present time.
Before we jump into the main subjects of today's presentation, we have prepared questions for you to answer to test your knowledge with today's topic. You will be given enough time to write your answer on your notebook, and later on, we will check it at the end of this presentation. Alright, let us start. Who painted the Spoliarium? A. Fernando Amorsolo, B. Leonardo da Vinci, C. Juan Arellano, and D. Juan Luna. This painting portrays the 1565 sanduguan between Dato Sicatuna of Bohol and Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, surrounded by other conquistadors. A. Blood Compact, B. Spoliarium, C. Planting Rice with Mayon Volcano, and D. Palay Maiden. He is best known for his illuminated landscapes, which often portrayed traditional Filipino customs, culture, fiestas, and occupations. A. Leonardo da Vinci, B. Juan Luna, C. Juan Arellano, and D. Fernando Amorsolo. It is a masterpiece that portrays a Filipina woman smiling to a viewer while hugging a newly harvested grain. This artwork also shows Amorsolo's preference for beauty. A. Planting rice with Mayon Volcano, B. Spoliarium, C. The Palay Maiden, and D. The Blood Compact. This painting portrays the brutal treatment and execution of fallen gladiators and slaves during the Roman period. A. Making of the Philippine flag, B. Spoliarium, C. The Parisian life, and D. The Blood Compact. Now that we're done answering the pre-test, let us now talk about our one of the greatest Filipino artists in Philippine history, Juan Luna.
Juan Luna de San Pedro y Novicio Ancheta, commonly known as Juan Luna, is a painter, sculptor, and a political activist of the Philippine Revolution during the late 19th century. He was born on October 23, 1857. Luna is considered as one of the greatest Filipino artists in the Philippine history, with masterpieces such as the Spolarium, The Death of Cleopatra, and Blood Compact, which are notable for their content and contextual analysis. Going to Luna's education, he studied at the Academia de Dibujo y Pintura, or in English, Academy of Drawing and Painting, located in Manila, before continuing his artistic education in Europe. Then he trained at the Real Academia de Bella Art de San Fernando in Madrid, where he was exposed to various artistic styles and techniques. In addition, Luna's works are characterized by his exceptional skill in depicting realistic and dramatic scenes. He was known for his mastery of light and shadow as well as his attention to detail. Moreover, while Luna's works are deeply rooted in the historical and social context of his time. So when did Juan Luna created his masterpiece? They were created during the Spanish colonization of the Philippines in the 19th century, and some were created during the mid-years of American rule in the Philippines. And I guess we are now ready to tackle about the most masterpiece painting of Juan Luna, the Spolarium. The Spolarium, completed in 1884, is widely regarded as his most famous and significant work. It comes from a Latin word which refers to the Roman Colosseum basement where the dying gladiators are dumped in. The painting serves as an allegory for the suffering and oppression of the Filipino people under Spanish colonial rule. The dimly lit somber atmosphere reflects the bleakness and hopelessness experienced by the Filipinos during that time. As you can see in the painting, at the center of it are the fallen gladiators being dragged by the Roman soldiers. On the left, spectators ardently await their chance to strip off the combatants of their metal helmets and other armories. In contrast with the charged emotion featured on the left, the right side meanwhile presents a somber mood. An old man carries a torch, perhaps searching for his son, while a woman weeps the death of her loved one. So, what is the important historical information about the painting? It references the brutal treatment and execution of fallen gladiators and slaves during the Roman period. Juan Luna's Espolarium painting won the first gold medal in Madrid in 1884 and remains the largest painting in the Philippines, measuring about 13.8 feet by 25.18 feet. The paintings serve as a metaphorical representation of the suffering, oppression, exploitation, and endured by the Filipino population during that time. It became an iconic symbol of Filipino nationalism, resistance, and the desire for freedom. The Spolarium can be now found at the National Museum of Fine Arts in Manila. Next, the Blood Compact. In Spanish, Pacto de Sangre, in Tagalog, Sanduguan. The Blood Compact portrays the 1565 Sandugo. It is the blood compact ritual between Dato Sikatuna of Bohol and Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, surrounded by other conquistadors, wherein it commemorates the historical event in 1565 wherein in Spanish explorer Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and Filipino chieftain Raha Sikatuna performed a blood compact as a symbol of friendship and diplomacy. The blood compact, it was an ancient ritual in the Philippines intended to seal a friendship or treaty or to validate an agreement. The contracting parties would cut their hands, pour their blood into the cup filled with liquid such as wine, and drink the mixtures. So Luna's painting executed in a realistic style, wherein it captures the intensity and solemnity of the ceremony. It highlights the cultural exchange and the initial encounter between the Filipino indigenous people and the Spanish colonizers. It is one of the three paintings Luna gave to the government of the Spain, as well as one of the last paintings created by Luna, which is the Blood Compact. So, what is the important historical information about the painting? So, the Blood Compact marked as the first recorded treaty of friendship and alliance between the Spanish colonizers and the Philippine indigenous ruler. It was a gesture of goodwill and trust between the Spanish colonizers and the native population. This helped them establish peaceful relations and paved the way for the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. So the event also had a lasting impact on Filipino culture and identity as it signifies the spirit of unity and cooperation even between vastly different cultures. So today, the Blood Compact is commemorated and celebrated as a significant event in Philippine history. To wrap it up, Juan Luna's paintings are not simply aesthetic expression, but also a powerful statements reflecting on the social-political climate of his time, wherein he uses his artistic skills as a form of political commentary depicting scenes of poverty, inequality, and the plight of the Filipino masses. This content and contextual analysis in his works showcase his deeply empathy toward the Filipino people and his desire for social change. Now that we're done talking about the works of Juan Luna, let us now give the spotlight to our next presenter, Mr. Earljan de la Rosa, who will give his insight about Fernando Amorsolo.
Fernando Amorsolo, or also known as Fernando Amorsolo y Cueto, was born on May 30, 1892 in Calle Heran in Paco, Manila. He is one of the most important artists in the Philippines and is a portraitist and painter of rural Philippine landscapes. He is also popularly known for his craftsmanship and mastery in the use of light. At the age of 13, in order to help provide for his family, he began to sell his drawings and became an apprentice to Fabian de la Rosa, his mother's cousin, who became the advocate and guide to Amorsolo's painting career. Amorsolo painted prodigiously during the 1920s and the 1930s. His rice planting, which was made on 1922, which appeared on posters and tourist brochures, became one of the most popular images of the Commonwealth of the Philippines. Beginning in the 1930s, Amorsolo's work was exhibited widely both in the Philippines and abroad. His bright, optimistic, and pastoral images set the tone for the Philippine painting before the World War II. Except for his dark World War II era paintings, Amorsolo painted quiet and peaceful scenes during or throughout his career. During the post-war period, Insular Life commissioned Fernando Amorsolo to create a series of paintings of historical events to be put in the offices and which were subsequently used in Insular Life calendars during the 1950s to 1980s and paid him 1,000 pesos each. Fiesta in Antipolo was created on 1947. In this masterpiece of Amorsolo, one would immediately notice the recognition of and the unity of the self with others, wherein a great trust and bond between strangers who are obviously not of blood is currently unfolding. The culture of what others may liken to how life in the province is, and the advice that there is a great need for every Filipinos to learn how to makisama is also hinted by the abundance of food littered at the left corner of the painting, as well as the conformity with the ritual and more of its content. Some non-believers may diminish this trait by describing it as uncivilized, especially by today's standard. However, the church uses its aging spires and dome on the outside and its astounding symmetricity and intricateness on the inside to its advantage by embracing these criticisms in order to point out the indispensability of this belief. The painting, The Making of the Philippine Flag, was created on 1955 and is one of the artworks made by Fernando Amorsolo to recognize the importance of the independency in the country. It is also one of the significant paintings that belongs to the native Filipinos. In history books, they narrate that the flag was sewn at the home of Marcela Agoncillo at 535 Morrison Hill with assistance of her daughter Lorenza and Delfina Herbosa de Natividad, a niece of the martyr Jose Rizal. They were tasked by General Emilio Aguinaldo to sew the first flag for the new republic, and that scene was immortalized in this painting. It purposely made to show the great essence and importance of these three women sewing the first made Philippine flag that to be used in the Declaration of the Independence in Kawit, Cavite. In the painting, it shows a contrast of colors of brown to yellow, and it is not harmonious. The artist balanced his characters and the background in his painting, which makes the painting balanced. There are no real lines in the painting because it is painted in a pointillist style. The colors of the author set the moods of the audiences as warmed by the usage of brown and yellow colors. The yellow background signifies that it is a beautiful sunny day. The colors of the character were also contrasted with the background, which made the painting calm as it's seen. The artist shows rough texture in some part of the painting, namely the dresses, as well as in the backgrounds, and uses a different color values for the dresses also to differentiate it from the background. That made the painting realistic scene. As can be analyzed throughout the painting, it can be seen that it involves unity between the sewers of the flag where they help each other to accomplish the task given to them. Harmonic act can also be considered that gives meaning to the whole situation. In the painting, the clothes that the women are wearing are an older style, more vintage, and really depicts the traditional styles. The skirts the women are wearing are long and their tops were like a traditional kimono. The three women are sewing passionately, which demonstrates elegance. The painting was not that kind of vibrant in the eyes, but can set your mood in calm. The mood and visual effect that the painting can be considered is calm and serene. Even though Amorsolo's painting did not splash and use a different color values, it still be seen that the shape, light, and gestures all work together harmoniously to become vibrant to the eyes of the audiences and to portray the mood of this subject. It also allows the artist and influence. It also allows the artist and influences the audience to become. This is due to the warm colors that Amorsolo used and the shapes that he draws. The painting depicts the serenity of the place and the people are humble like they have no worries in their minds. The community can understand the painting and know what Amorsolo was trying to portray. The painting was made to show citizens of the Philippines of how the Philippine flag was made and to remind them the traditions and customs that we did not realize it becomes faded. Ballet Maiden was created in 1920, is an oil-on-canvas painting by Amorsolo. A lady posing for a smile while keeping a palay reflects the culture of the Philippines in this painting, as rice is a great commodity for our country, and Filipinos respect rice very much. They're working their tails off to help their country and to develop family bond. They are not seen to be pursuing any form of sovereignty. Unlike the Western style of beauty, The lady is depicted with round face, nose, and dark brown complexion. In closing, what really makes the masterpiece Filipino is because of the palay and the beauty of the Filipina in the painting. Besides wearing the traditional clothes from that period, Filipina has made it special, showing modesty, honesty, and purity.
So, what are the contribution and relevance of works of Juan Luna in the Philippine history? Juan Luna's works such as the Spolarium played a critical role during the Spanish colonial era. His art not only showcased the talent and creativity of Filipinos, but also conveyed powerful messages of resistance and patriotism against Spanish oppression. Luna's involvement in the propaganda movement, a group advocating for political reforms, further solidified his significance in Philippine history. Moreover, his work, which incorporated elements of Filipino culture and history, contributed to the development and preservation of the Filipino cultural identity. Through his art, Luna captured the beauty of the Philippine landscape, local traditions, and indigenous people, thereby promoting a sense of national pride and identity among Filipinos. And because of his artworks, it brings international recognition to Philippine art and placing it on global stage.
Let's now move on to the contributions and relevance of Amorsolo's painting in the Philippine history. Amorsolo painted and sketched more than 10,000 pieces over his lifetime. His painting highlighted the traditions, customs, and Filipino beauty which makes them more special. And lastly, he developed the use of natural and backlighting techniques.
Now that we're done tackling the lesson, we have prepared a post-test for you consisting of 10 questions to test if you've gained a knowledge from the topic we have discussed. So you will be answering the post-test online via MS Teams. We will be sending it to you shortly after the instructions is given. And take note, you will be given 20 minutes to answer it, so make sure to choose the correct answers. Thank you.